Hello everyone, I'm Jodylynn and welcome to Aging Naturally, where we talk about non-invasive, better aging solutions for the mature skin. This is one of my favorite non-invasive, better aging solutions that's going to turn back the hands of time. And it's super affordable, which is why I love this. So we are Cosmetic Needling, where I'm going to be sharing with you level 1 and level 2. I've already done a video on the differences between cosmetic needling and medical micro needling. It's a very great informative video and I suggest watching that if you are not familiar. So I will link that in the product description below. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to cosmetic needle, and this is really going to be level 1 and level 2. So what I mean by level 1 is you're that person that has bought a Dermaroller and it's just collecting dust because you are too scared to get started. That is going to be my level 1. And then level 2, I'm going to share with you what it is that you really, where you want to be with cosmetic needling. So cosmetic needling, we are using either a Dermaroller or a stamp, or some people use a pen by like Dr. Pen, where we are creating microchannels in the skin. So we're creating kind of a wound, a very, very superficial wound to penetrate products deeper into the skin, as well as also release growth factors. So cosmetic needling is a needle length of 0.3 and under, and we are going to be using 0.25 today. All right, let's just go through prep and basics. Before, I will list timestamps, so if you want to get right to, like maybe you already know this information, you might want to get to level 1. You can just move around as you like with the timestamps below. All right, so let's talk about how often you should cosmetic needle. Per Dr. Setterfield's book, you can cosmetic needle daily. Being a beginner, I would not do that. I personally like to cosmetic needle once a week, and that has to do with the fact that I use a lot of beauty devices. So, and we'll talk about devices and cosmetic needling in just a moment. So when you are just starting out, I suggest doing it once a week. And then if you are feeling really comfortable with that and you would like to maybe add in an additional day, then I say go ahead and add in, additional day, and maybe you want to do it twice a week. Doing it every day, I think that that's really up to you, and eventually on the area that you're treating and how comfortable you feel doing it every day. I personally, if you're using devices, I wouldn't do it any more than twice a week. So let's talk about prepping the skin. So on the day that you are cosmetic needling, I would stay away from any irritating active ingredients. So no BHAs, AHAs, anything that has glycolic acid, lactic acid, salicylic acid, or retinol. I would steer clear of all of those. I would not exfoliate. And this is really just for beginners. Eventually, as you continue doing this and you're feeling really comfortable, having skin tuition is what I like to say, is because you're going to know your skin. Like, I personally have been doing this for so long. I'm a skincare junkie. I can listen to my skin. I can exfoliate in the morning, nothing too harsh, but a light exfoliation. I can cosmetic needle in the evening. But as a beginner, I would stop all actives during the day. So maybe you just want to gently clean the face during the day, use a vitamin C moisturizer and your SPF. And I always suggest cosmetic needling in the evening because all of the magic is happening in the healing process. So while you are sleeping, the skin is doing so much healing during that time. And your skin might get a little bit red and it's just kind of a lot. So I suggest always doing it in the evening. I don't do any beauty devices on that day that I'm going to cosmetic needle, exception my red light therapy, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Once you start feeling really comfortable with cosmetic needling, then you might be able to do like a microcurrent treatment in the morning, and then you could do your cosmetic needling in the evening. I wouldn't use any radio frequency on that day. If you feel really comfortable and you want to do a radio frequency like in the morning and then cosmetic needling in the evening, I would just steer clear of any heat, Nira, radio frequency, because that is getting to the dermis and it is, you know, creating stress in that area, and you're going to be creating a little bit of stress. So that's just too much. I would just say just don't do any beauty devices, exception red light therapy, on the day that you're cosmetic needling. When you're looking for a stamp or a Dermaroller, I will list my recommendations down below, but I would look for titanium needles. So this one is by Dr. Penn, and this one is by Angel Kiss. I've used a lot of Angel Kiss, and I really like Angel Kiss. 8 to 10 times is about how many times you want to reuse them, and then you are going to purchase new ones. The needles eventually will wear over time, so this is not something that you want to use for a year or, you know, months and months. And I just take a marker and I just mark on the top how many times I've done it. Kind of an easy way to let me know how many times I've done it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Face needs to be squeaky clean. So I went to work today and I had on makeup, so I did my oil cleanser. I went in with First Aid Beauty after that, so I did a double cleanse, and I just really cleaned the skin for a good couple of minutes. Then I went in with the antiseptic. I don't have it here right now. I will post it right here, but that is going to get rid of potentially any bacteria or anything that is on the face. So I love using that, and I also clean my hands with that as well. If you don't have that, you can definitely use a 70% alcohol wipe where you can wipe your face with that. This is new for me. So I am actually, and we're gonna use a stamp, and I like to use a stamp for the very reason that I think it's great for beginners. So I'm actually gonna turn this stamp all the way to about 1, and no, we're not using a 1, but I'm just gonna spray my alcohol, 70% alcohol on it, and I'm gonna let that dry, because that's what we're gonna be using. If you're using a roller, then that's what you're going to use. You're gonna do the same thing as well. And I'm gonna be showing you how to use the roller as well, so I'm gonna be doing that as well. All right, something else that I like to do is take one of these alcohol wipes, and I want to wipe my glass jar. This is what I'm gonna be putting my hyaluronic acid and sterile saline in, and I'm just gonna kind of make a serum to put on my face. Just kind of let that dry. I'm gonna go in with the Baha hyaluronic acid serum, and for me, I'm gonna do like 2, what do they call this, pipettes? 2 pipettes. And you see how it's just like really thick? I like to use sterile saline just to kind of thin it out. It's a lid so I don't go through so much of it. And then I'm gonna use my spatula to kind of mix it together. But I'm going to actually clean my spatula first with another one of those alcohol wipes. That's what I'm going to do. Now, all of this stuff has been already previously cleaned because I always clean everything before I put everything away. So I feel pretty confident in just using an alcohol wipe for right now. Now I'm just gonna mix that up, and you see that I get kind of like this watery substance. This is what we are going to use for level 1. All right, I'm going to take my stamp and I'm actually going to put it now on 0.25 because that's what we are going to be doing, in which is the line right between the 0 and the 0.5. You can barely see the needles. They are so small. So small. And what I really suggest is, my face and everything is squeaky clean, is if you are super nervous about this, is to stamp like your neck, just so that you get a feeling of what it's gonna feel like. And I'm telling you, you're barely gonna feel it because these are such small needles. So if you just make sure that, of course, your hair and everything is out of the way. And I'm just pressing like really lightly, like honestly, I don't even feel anything. You hardly feel it. And then just kind of, so you kind of experience what it feels like, you can kind of just go like this. Okay, so what I want you to do, if you feel comfortable, let's just kind of move on. Now, I like to work in sections. I'm going to take a little bit of that saline and hyaluronic acid serum, and I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead. And I like to do small sections I kind of like to go back and forth because as you can see, it's not fully like touching my forehead because my forehead it's not flat. And then you can just go down. What I want to share is that on these areas, like you see how I've got this very deep 11 line. What I like to do is any wrinkles that are fairly deep, you want to kind of pull it away. So like pull it apart and then just kind of get in there. And I'm just kind of doing it about 2 or 3 times. Going over it 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to go back in and add the serum over the area. And that's really all there is to it. So we're going to go here and do the same thing. And yes, I know you're probably going to ask, can you do the hood of the eye? You absolutely can. And I'm going to show you how you do that. So I like to use one glove where I'm penetrating the product deeper into the skin. So this hand right here won't touch anything else on my, just my face and the serum. And if I accidentally touched something else, like my water bottle or something with this, then I would take it off and get a new one. All right, so what you're gonna do now is you can definitely do the hood of the eye, and you're just gonna do that same thing. Just kind of pushing up. And then just add that on there. And I like to just rub it in, get her in there. Now let me show you, if you have a roller, what you're gonna wanna do. This is a little bit more tricky. So let's say you bought the 0.25 Dermaroller. I'll do that on this side. It's a little bit tricky because a lot of people don't know how much pressure. And I think that that's why this gets to be a little bit more tricky and where people can kind of freak out about this. Because this, like there's nowhere else to go because there's that stopper there. So you don't want to put any pressure. So if you have a roller, you're just going, let me put some serum on here. I'll do this side with the roller. And I'm just going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'm not using any pressure. Just enough for it to sit on there, If you're using the roller and you're going 1, 2, you're going to want to lift it up. So you're going to want to go 1, 2, up, 1, 2, up, 1, 2, up. You don't want to drag this, and that's it. So this is pretty simple. Let me show you the under eye area because that can be a little tricky. So I'm going to put some of this on the under eye. So what you can do also, if you've got like some heavy bags here, is you can press it like this. Like take that under eye and kind of press it down so that you are needling on the bone. That's what you want to do, like that. Okay. And just do it a couple of times. And then of course you can put your serum again. Let me show you how you would use it if it was a roller. Again, you're going to press this down and you're going to want to you're going to do this away from the eye. Don't ever go towards the eye. That would be really dangerous. That would be kind of scary. So hold this down so that you can roll and lift it up. Roll, lift it up. Roll, lift it up. So 2 to 3 times and you should be fine. And you can do the crow's feet. And again, this nasolabial fold, if you want to, you can press it out, or you could go like this and get in there. You want to just do like vertical. Just make sure that you're going even, and then horizontal. And that's it. It's really simple. Now, for the lip area, you're not going to want to needle on the lips, but rather around the lips. So I kind of like to go like this because I want to pull it apart, my lip, like where those wrinkles are. like that. And that's it. You can do that a couple of times. Let me show you with the roller. If you are doing your nasolabial folds, you're gonna do the same thing. You can pull the skin apart, or you can just kind of move your face like this, and you're just gonna get in there. Same with the lips. That's all you're gonna do. Okay, I'm taking more time to explain it to you than anything, but this really, you guys, takes maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, and that's it. And yes, you can do the neck, which is wonderful. So just going horizontal, vertical, it doesn't matter which way first. And see how I'm moving it? I'm getting it up all the time. I'm not dragging. Don't drag. You don't want to drag the needles on your skin. And you can do this area too, which is, you know, really wonderful because there's no beauty devices that you can use here. Just, you know, make sure that you are being gentle. Like that's how simple it is. If you are like, okay, I feel like that was super simple. I really kind of feel like going on to level 2. Skip through. You can do level 2 right now because this is really just, I wanted you to get used to the process and what it felt like. Because level 2 is really where you want to be, which is where you want to create an even amount of erythema, is when your skin gets a bit pink. It's a superficial reddening, and that's really where you want your skin to be when you're cosmetic needling. Okay, let's talk about aftercare at this point. If you are here, you are done, you can do a sheet mask if you wanted to. I would keep it really simple, something that has no fragrance and that is just like super like hydrating. So like my Super Cica masks that I talk about all the time on my channel, this would be a great one to use. You could use that, and then you could go on to red light therapy, or you could just do red light therapy and skip the mask. Like, it's all up to you. If you're using a red light therapy mask rather than a panel or a handheld, I would be super careful with that. Super squeaky clean. I would make sure that I just wouldn't want you to put anything and lay anything on top of your face because you got those open channels. I've never used a mask when I've cosmetic or medical microneedled. I've always used a panel or a handheld just because I didn't want anything touching my face. If that is something that you're going to use, I would just make sure that it's squeaky clean, that you are, using a wipe, a 70% alcohol wipe, and make sure it's squeaky clean. But red light therapy is wonderful to do after this treatment because it'll accelerate the healing process. So it's something I love to do. After you've done your red light therapy, I usually wait a couple of hours to do anything else that I want to my skin, and it's really simple. So I don't use any retinol, I don't use any tretinoin, I don't use any actives, and all I really do, honestly, is use Vanicream. This is it. I use the moisturizer. This is simple. It's free of dyes, fragrances. It has ceramides, which is great for healing. So this is what I really love to use when I cosmetic needle. I usually wait though for about an hour or two after I've done the treatment, and then I feel comfortable putting on a Vanicream. So I hope that that's helpful. Let's get on to level 2. All right, this is level 2. This is really where you want to be with cosmetic needling. I like to use serums to penetrate them deeper into the skin. So what you want to use are serums that are water soluble. You want to ensure that there's no irritating ingredients, no fragrances, essential oils, no occlusives. You want it to be, water soluble. You really would like for them to be skin identical ingredients. So that means that they are ingredients that are naturally occurring in the skin. For example, growth factors, hyaluronic acid, peptides. And you want them to be, fairly simple ingredients in the products. not a lot of preservatives. So what I like to use is Brad-Ceuticals. I love to use their Gold, their growth factor, and I also do the copper peptides from The Ordinary. I actually just create a mixture in that glass dish that I just got done doing. So I usually will do like a pipette of this and then a pipette of this, and then mix that all together. And if you wanted to, you could definitely add in some saline to make it a little bit thinner as well. So we're going to the next level, and I'm going to show you what that looks like on this side. So you're going to be using your 0.25 again, or if you're feeling really comfortable and you want to go to the 0.3, go ahead. You can do that as well. Cosmetic needling is 0.3 or under, and I usually use a 0.3, and I usually use the Dermaroller, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. I like to, again, start off by adding a little bit of serum to an area, and I'm going to do a section, and I'm going to do this horizontally, and then I'm going to do it vertically, and then you're going to do like patchwork. Now I'm going to do it diagonally, that way, and diagonally this way. And again, you can get that area, like my 11, I like to press it out. So you see how I've got, this side is just a little bit more pink. You want the area to be a little bit pink, and you want the face to be pink and evenly pink. So kind of doing it in different directions. Doing this now, diagonally. And I just kind of look to see like how pink it is. Okay. Now, that is what you're going to do if you've got a roller as well. So let me show you how I do it with a roller. This is a 0.3, and I think I'm going to get more red with this one because so I like to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget to lift it up after the fourth one, or the fifth one, I mean. And then I'm going and doing those X's. Again, if I'm working on this area, I'm going like this. And this way. And there you go. That's what it looks like. I'm going in now with my serums, and I'm just penetrating them into the skin. And you can see that this is, you know, a bit more pink than level 1. I just wanted you to get used to what it was like. Let's do the eye area. Do not needle the eyelid. You can always then just move this diagonally because there's not a lot of area to go. Just make sure that it just gets a little pink. Make sure you're always picking up the stamp. You do not want to drag it. You'll get dragging marks, and that's not good. Okay. The reason we do the patchwork, like horizontal, vertical, diagonal, is because you want different holes. You don't want to be poking the same hole over and over again, if that makes any sense. I'm probably not explaining that right, but that's it in a nutshell. And if you've got skin, you know, that kind of hangs, just move your neck or pull it. And then I just kind of go through and kind of see if there's anywhere else that I might want to go over again, just to get that little pinkness evenly dispersed. All right, that's it. And now I'm going to do the other side so I can get that pinkness evenly distributed over on this side. So, all right, so I went ahead and did the rest of this side of the face. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use red light therapy. I'm going to use my panel. I'm going to use it for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to wait a couple of hours, and then I'm going to add on my Vana cream. And that's it. I'm going to go to bed. Tomorrow, the next day, you should be able to go right into your regular normal routine. I say really listen to your skin. So if if your skin is really dry, then you're probably not going to want to, you might want to take a day off from actives. Just really listen to your skin. I usually do microcurrent the following day. I usually don't do radio frequency the day after. I will do microcurrent and red light therapy, and I will get back to my radio frequency routine 2 days after. But what is an absolute must is that you are wearing SPF during the day. And I really say SPF 50 or above if you are going to be outside. 30 if you're in the house, by windows. So now what you're gonna want to do is clean everything. So what I do, I take my spatula, I take my stamp or Dermaroller, whatever it is that you use. And what I like to do, especially if you're using like a Dermaroller, I like to use reusable cleaning pads. That's cotton, that's what this is. And I put that at the bottom of the glass dish, add some hot water, and then I put these in there with the denture tablet, and I leave it sit for 30 minutes. The reason I put the pad at the bottom of the glass dish is I don't want my needles to hit the glass dish to potentially break them or bend them in any way. So that's what I do. Let them sit for 30 minutes. And then after I take them out, I rinse them in hot water, and then I spray them with my alcohol, and then I let them sit out with the top off so that it air dries. And next week, I'm going to show you how to medical micro needle, which is a needle length of 0.5, and that is not product infusion, but rather collagen induction therapy. It works a little different. Same supplies, and we're going to do a 0.5. So whatever you want to use, the Dermaroller at a 0.5, this at a 0.5. We will not be using any serums except for the hyaluronic acid and then the sterile saline. That's it. I hope to see you there.